Geoff Schwartz, Giants offensive lineman with Armen Levack, joins us every Tuesday at 5:15. Schwartzy, dude, I hear you're going to be covering the NFL draft this Thursday.
I am. SBNation.com. We're doing a live pre- and post-draft show for round one. We're kind of talking about, where we see guys and team fits and stuff early on, and of course, kind of analyzing, how the first round went. So it'll be pretty fun. I'm looking forward to it. I've definitely had to kind of brush up on the college prospects.
You're going to be doing a post-draft show on Thursday night. Are you going to have like some energy drinks? Like, are you going to be up to like 2 or 3 a.m.?
I know. I went to bed last night like 9:20. So I'm gonna have to. Yeah, I'm really gonna have to pick up my game to make it that far. But I love NFL and I love the draft. I always have. I always found the process really fascinating. So I really don't think I'll have a problem staying up for it. Especially kind of seeing. Obviously we picked 9, but then kind of seeing. I always follow for the Browns picking there at 19, 12 or 19 with my brother. So I'll be able to make it through it.
Now you mentioned the Giants picking at 9. You've been breaking everything down. A lot of speculation that the Giants will hopefully add to your unit, the offensive line. Who do you see going number 9 to the Giants, Mr. Offensive Line expert of the draft?
Well, I think if we're doing offensive lineman, you really have to look at a guy that can play tackle eventually, because I think drafting so high, drafting a guard, a pure guard at number 9, it hasn't really worked out for other teams. General. So I think you look at a guy like Lyle Collins from LSU, who is, I think he's a great player. He's my top-rated tackle, and I think he can play tackle or guard. He can play guard if you have to do that. Or Sheriff from Iowa. He's a quality player. He's compact. He's fluid. I think he's nasty. He's got good hands. But definitely, he could probably play right tackle and he could play guard and do a good job either one of those.
All right, so you like Collins and sure if they wouldn't go wrong. What do you see in Eric Flowers, the kid out of Miami? Because the Giants have met with him more than any other offensive lineman.
I see a guy that kind of maybe fits that mold of Kareem McKenzie, that big kind of right tackle that they've had in the past. But he has a lot of kind of fundamental issues, flaws in his game that sometimes they're hard to kind of coach out. He definitely has a lot of talent. He's a great athlete. He's a big baller type. But I think he leans a lot. His footwork and his pass sets aren't the best. He kind of just gets away with being a big guy. In the NFL, it's not that easy. And, when you have a guy that comes in the league that has kind of these flaws, every coach obviously thinks, I can be the one to fix them. But it's a lot tougher than that. The guy's been doing this for 4 years, and I'm sure his offensive line coach in Miami tried to kind of teach him out of this stuff too, and it hasn't really worked. So I kind of be cautious on him. I think those other 2 guys that I mentioned are better fits to kind of play right now and contribute.
Now, Schwartz, when you look at these guys and they're projected to play with you, is part of you looking at this going, all right, I can help this guy be great, or this guy's beyond my help? Because when you talk about Flowers, it sounds like he's kind of beyond where you want to be the instructor.
Well, when it comes to technique and stuff, a lot of it does fall on the offensive line coach. We talk a lot as offensive linemen. We do talk technique, but it's hard to kind of drill that without the help of the offensive line coach. A lot of what older veterans kind of help young guys with is mentally, kind of being mentally stable, kind of teaching young offensive linemen how to prepare during the week. Obviously, kind of how to get some keys on Sunday to help you read defenses better and stuff. Yeah, there is some technique work to that, but more of the work that I would do with a young guy would be mental.
So if you're talking about the Giants drafting a tackle, what does that do for Justin Pugh, who has said this year that he could play guard or tackle?
Obviously, if we draft a tackle, I think we would draft a guy that can play guard also. I think the Giants like versatile guys like that. So it's a guy like Collins or Sheriff. I think that those guys can play guard too. So I really don't know if they're going to move Pugh or not. We might not even take the offensive lineman at number 9. I don't really know what their plans are, but the Giants do draft best player available. So if Amari Cooper, let's say, falls all the way to 9, or even Mariota, I don't think that's going to happen. But who knows who would drop to number 9? If that player is rated higher than an offensive lineman, they'll go with that player.
Giants offensive lineman Geoff Schwartz with Armen Levack on 104.5 The Team. He's covering the NFL draft with SB Nation on Thursday night. You can check out his coverage before and after the draft at sbnation.com. Geoff, can you put in layman's terms to the regular football listener the guard and tackle position? So if you can play one, there's a good chance that you can transition to the other. Why are those positions so similar?
That's actually not true. I have actually a big issue with that. It's if you have certain skill sets that can translate over. I kind of take issue with the fact that guys that struggle at tackle can just play guard like it's easy to play guard. I think if you're an offensive lineman, you're a tackle, let's say, and you're kind of slow-footed and not the most athletic, but you have good hands and your punch is good, then you can go inside and play guard. You don't have to move as much, but you still have that punch, right? If you're an offensive tackle and you struggle out there because you're not good, with your hands and you lean and you lunge, going to guard is not going to help you. Things happen quicker at guard. You have to almost have better hands because, things are going to happen right now. So it's not just so easy to do that. And the guys that they've talked about in the draft, like the Sheriff, he can do that. He's got great hands. He's very compact. He kind of looks like a big mauling guard. And his play kind of, I think, reflects the fact that he can play guard. You look at a guy, I'm trying to think of tackles they're talking about moving into guard. Like a guy like Flowers, maybe. He's so big and he kind of sometimes doesn't have the best hands. Moving him to guard, I don't think would help. I think he's purely a tackle, but that kind of would be a good example.
All right, Schwartz, so let's go to the other side of the line. You've been breaking down the defensive line as well. I look at this as I've got an opportunity to ask, one of my favorite guards. So I got to ask you, who's the guy that you wouldn't want to have to block against twice a year? Who's the defensive guy that you look at and go, I hope one of my division guys don't get this?
Well, I think Leonard Williams from USC. He's kind of one of a general. This is from I've watched a little bit of film on him, but just kind of reviewing over scouting reports and stuff. People are saying he's kind of a once in a generation type defensive lineman. I definitely did watch him earlier this season when he was. I watched a lot of USC games being a Pac-12 guy, and he definitely has a lot of those, those traits. He's explosive. He's great with his hands. He just kind of makes plays. He's one of those interior guys that I think will be tough to go against. I think the guy from Washington, Shelton, he's a 350 pounds. He led the team in tackles, I think. That's pretty ridiculous. When you have a guy that's that big and that quick, that can also rush the passer, that's a combination that you don't see very often.
Geoff Schwartz, Giants offensive lineman with Armen Levack, and you've been studying the offensive line and the defensive line prospects in this year's draft. Speaking of the defensive line and guys that can't stop smoking weed, for crying out loud, Randy Gregory fails the drug test at the Combine. Shane Ray this week gets busted with a small amount of marijuana. Both these guys, top first-round projected guys, when you watch them, are they legit in that top 15 range that we've been told about before they like the Mary Jane?
I think the worst part about the marijuana is it's not really the fact that they're smoking marijuana. I think that's not. Obviously that's illegal, to do in the NFL. But I think it's the fact that it's a judgment call. They know the draft is coming up. They knew the combine was coming up, and they still, got tested positive. So that's, I think, the biggest red flag. Both those guys in the field. Shane Ray's more of a complete player who can play the run in the pass. Randy Gregory, might be the best, just kind of pure pass rusher, pure speed guy. But Gregory, obviously, he had that, the field test with combine, plus he's kind of light, he can kind of can't keep his weight up. So I'll kind of be interested to see where Randy ends up going. He's got a lot of talent and he definitely has a high upside. So it'll be really interesting to see kind of, where he ends up going.
Geoff Schwartz, Giants offensive lineman with Armen Levack. How concerned are you? You mentioned judgment is the big concern about Shane Ray and Randy Gregory. How much does it concern you as a current player that these guys know what was ahead of them, that the draft is right here and they couldn't stay away from the weed? How much does that concern you?
I think I've told you guys before. I don't terribly care what guys do off the field.
Sure.
But if
judgment.
That affects, if let's say a guy gets busted for the same offense, on Saturday before game week, that would bother me. That means the guy's not ready to play on Sunday. He's not focused, and you can't trust his judgment. And that's when it would bother me. I mean, I don't know Shane Ray. I really don't care what he does right now, and it's his loss if he got in trouble and it drops his draft stock. That has nothing to do with me. I just think that obviously just a judgment thing. It's just not smart to even be kind of close to that stuff or have it in your car or any of those situations right before the draft.
Schwartz, do either of these count as violations against the drug policy? Like, are these guys already in the program?
I saw a tweet today saying that Shane Ray will be now. I don't know about Randy, to be honest with you. I don't know if the combine counts yet, but I saw Shane Ray will now be. I think Randy Gregory will have to be. I think that's the way it works.
So that means that their next time they're subject to suspension.
I believe so.
Ooh.
And I know Deion Jordan for the Dolphins today got a year suspension. I mean, it's in his third year already. That's just disappointing to see guys that kind of throw their talent, down the drain.
Well, and you know how hard it is to stay on the field just because from physical purposes, and let alone if you have to bring off the field stuff in play as well, and throw another factor that could keep you off the field that will deter teams. Do you believe that the draft weight of these guys have dropped from the first round all the way to rounds 3, 4, 5, like we're reading today?
No, I don't think that's the case at all. I kind of harp back on this. I mean, marijuana obviously is legal in some states, legal in, not legal in others. It's obviously not legal federally, but I don't think it's viewed as. I think the judgment is what's viewed more than the actual smoking marijuana. So you kind of have to play that out. The talent versus judgment. When it comes to it, and I think it does. I think it will drop them off boards, but there's no way that I don't think Randy Gregory or Shane Ray or any prospect who kind of had a drug issue, who has a high first-round grade, will drop to the third or fourth round. It's kind of ridiculous.
Geoff Schwartz, Giants offensive lineman with Armen and Levack. The top 3 projected picks in the draft are not going to be there on the premises this year. The NFL, Schwartz, is going to start moving the draft site every single year and take bids for it, much like the Super Bowl. Because of this, are we going to see a trend of players declining NFL draft invitations in the future?
Yes, and I think that's 100% why guys are not in New York. Obviously Marcus Mariota wants to be home, and so does Jameis, but I actually did not hear why Amari Cooper's not going, but I definitely think that it's, the allure of New York City. I mean, it's the bright lights. I mean, it's where you want to be. It's where the draft has always been. Chicago, it's a nice city. I've been to Chicago a couple times, but it doesn't have the same weight as New York, even Los Angeles. I mean, I'm from Los Angeles. I know what the setup is there with LA Live and kind of this whole situation in downtown LA. I mean, it would have been a beautiful place to do it, to include the beach and the whole thing. I think guys would come to Los Angeles. I just don't think Chicago is that appealing to someone who might be on the fence of showing up for draft.
All right, Geoff. So earlier this week, your teammate Rashad Jennings said it was asked if you guys were a Super Bowl team or a contender, and he said no doubt. Do you have any doubts that you guys are Super Bowl contenders?
I have no doubt that we have the talent to make it that far. I'm not really in the business of predicting these things. I think that's what he meant, is that we have talent. I mean, we are a talented football team. We just have to stay healthy and play better than we did last year. I mean, but if you look at, I can kind of just speak offensively because it's where I play, but I'm coming back. Let's say we drop the lineman, then we have 5 outstanding offensive linemen. We have add Larry Donnell and Daniel Fells as our blocking tight ends. Then we have 3-headed monster running back with Rashad and Andre and Shane Vereen, and then you go outside with Odell and hopefully Victor Cruz comes back 100%, and Ruben Randall and Preston Parker and all these guys that even like the young Corey Washington, maybe he kind of steps up into a bigger role. So we have a ton of weapons on offense, and going into our second year under this offense, I think that just through the meetings, a lot of us have kind of grasp concepts, a lot easier, obviously, and I think we'll be able to hit the ground running more than last year, where the first couple of weeks, especially in the preseason, we're just kind of figuring out who we're going to be, and we struggled. But you saw toward the end of the season how much better we played on offense.
Geoff Schwartz with Armen and Levack. You mentioned being healthy is a big key. You had the ankle surgery in the offseason. Are you still projecting to miss spring and then be ready to go 100% by the fall?
Yeah, nothing's changed. I think I'll be able to do a little bit of spring, but it's not a time to kind of push yourself. I mean, the spring is a time to learn the playbook. Get used to, you're comfortable with your teammates. Get a few reps in. But what matters is being ready for camp and being ready for the preseason, and then obviously week 1 in Dallas on Sunday night, being ready for that.
Do you miss the scooter at all?
I do not. I do not miss the scooter, especially don't miss falling off the scooter.
I saw a person on that thing.
First of all, are you a Cowboys fan? Because you're from that area.
Yeah, I mean, I covered them my entire life up to living here. I grew up a Cowboys fan, diehard, and then
that's a rough life.
Is it though? Because I'm pretty sure my bad, dude. I just dropped my Super Bowl ring. Oh, hang on. Here's another one.
Oh yeah. When you were growing up, though, you're older than me. You guys won a lot.
Here's another one.
Right?
Yeah, man, 1-3 that I remember that I saw.
Yeah, see, I grew up a Niners fan, so we only won, I think, one when I was a kid.
Yeah, I grew up a Raiders fan, so what do you want?
Well, yeah, we know we know about that.
We pray for you every night, bro. It's okay.
Hey, I've seen 2 wins and a loss, a terrible, terrible, terrible loss. I'm older than all of you kids. Get off my lawn.
The Raiders have a good opportunity to draft a playmaker this year. We'll see what they do.
Yeah, they probably won't.
I mean, it's pretty much you can go Amari Cooper, who seems to be the slam dunk, or you can go Kevin White, who seems to be the risky lottery guy. I'm guessing
Kevin White probably has more upside than Cooper, but he hasn't had as much production. I mean, Cooper is ready to play now. He's played in the SEC with SEC defenses, and he is ready. He played in pro style last year with Lane Kiffin. He is ready to go now, and the Raiders will probably draft that kid from Central Florida, the one who ran like the 4.2.
That's ridiculous. Yeah, they're going to draft him just because he's 40.
Yes, exactly.
Yep. Giants offensive lineman Geoff Schwartz. Check out his Thursday night draft coverage before and after the draft, SBNation.com. Throughout the draft as well. You can catch him on Twitter at Geoff Schwartz, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. Jeff, always enjoy it every Tuesday at 5:15, man. Keep working hard, baby, and we'll enjoy we'll be looking forward to your draft coverage.
Thank you, guys. Take care.